All right, Zig on the top. Today on the show, we have Toaster Coaster vs. the Weather Machine. Joining us is Ryan, Keith, Gabe, and Chris of Toaster Coaster. We filmed this one live in their rehearsal studio, Toaster HQ. Ryan's been a near and dear friend of, I would say, the whole music scene here in Cleveland. Ryan is so involved. He was working with Cindy and Cindy's nonprofit, as well as doing a lot of the live streams during the pandemic and just helping any of these other projects out that are supporting the local scene, like Locally Grown. They got their video stuff and know-how-to from Ryan. He's a superhero. So it is an honor to be sharing his creative work with Toaster Coaster vs. the Weather Machine. They have a new album coming out called 3 or 4 Short People in a Trench Coat. And May 22nd, they're going to be playing at the Beachland Tavern for their album debut release show. So that's May 22nd with Cellophane Jane and Plum Shed at the Beachland Tavern. Toaster Coaster vs. the Weather Machine. Album debut, May 22nd. Be there if you're in Cleveland. All right, friends, before we jump into this interview, if you can like, rate, review, subscribe to the podcast on any of the podcast platforms, it helps me keep talking to cool guests like my friends in the Toaster Coaster versus the Weather Machine. With that being said, we're going to jump right to the video. Check it out. Sweet. Awesome. We're into it. All right. Zig at the gig at your guys' gig in HQ. In the toaster, Holy shit.
Welcome to the toaster.
Welcome to the toaster. Let's go down the line, just introduce to the audience so they know the voices and the faces.
My name is Keith. I play guitar.
Chris, I'm on bass.
Gabe, I play the drums.
I'm Ryan, and I do keyboards and guitars and vocals.
Beautiful. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys. We've been going back and forth, Ryan, trying to get this together. And I appreciate you guys welcoming me to your home to do this.
No worries.
And as always, you've helped me with a bunch of audio and video projects. And so I appreciate you, my friend. So thank you for helping me all the time. So I'm glad to be able to spread the word about this sick record, man.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad to be able to help.
Beautiful. Well, this is what makes a community work. You know what I'm saying? We all have there's cool shit going on, but I don't know. I feel like we get carried away in our own little mouse trail, and we kind of lose sight of everything that's going on. I mean, Ryan, you've with the Beachland stuff, you've been involved in a little bit more of the bigger mouse trail, but you know what I mean? That's what keeps everything going, is being aware of our friends doing cool stuff and supporting them and supporting it by doing it, But anyway, I wanted to start off by asking Keith with
Yes.
the Toaster moniker. I feel like your whole internet presence has something to do with toast.
Yeah.
So can you get into where the toast came from?
Well, it started from 90s AOL Instant Messenger screen name, and I was trying to think of anything where I didn't have to have numbers, and because when you're going on to AIM, you want to have something cool and original, and I just saw a toaster, and I was drinking Hawaiian Punch, and it became Toaster Punch as my online handle, and that just kind of stuck with me since 1999. For whatever reason.
It's weird, these little things you just kind of self-identify with, as a kid, you know what I mean? Even with Ziggy, some kid in high school, the cool guitar playing guy, his name was Aaron, just started calling me Ziggy, and I'm he gave everyone a nickname, and I thought when you were donned your nickname, it was supposed to be a cool, whoa, this is deep. I see this in myself. I learned something about me through your vision. And he was just yeah, you play guitar. I'm that's not cool. You know what I mean? That's
you were jamming good at least.
Not in high school. It's just one of those things. So but it just comes from, I guess, where we're around.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I love that it's lasted that long until now. You know what I mean? I think I see a little bit of my thing in that,
Absolutely. I'm just a child. just stuck.
Walk it. Actually, this should be called the weather machine, right? We're in the weather machine.
We are in the weather machine, I suppose.
I don't know. Toaster HQ.
We'll call it Toaster HQ.
All right.
I like that. It has a name now.
Yeah.
But walking down and seeing the Pokemon cards at the lip of the basement staircase.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, that's awesome. But anyway, so let's kind of trace the history, because we've done stuff with Midnight Buford and Thick Kevin, and like I think I remember our first show, and the first, I'm pretty sure the first time I met you, Ryan, was at Leah's barn show in Chardon. Which wasn't Leah's barn. It was at your house.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Halloween.
Yeah, that was a dillion years ago. And
Yeah.
was that yeah, I think that was the era when I was trying to do Llama Palooza.
Yeah.
If you remember Llama Palooza, yeah, we did 2 of them.
That was probably the year that your dad yelled at us at 3 a.m.
That would be accurate. Yeah. Yeah, that was like 10 years ago. Yeah,
we were just up until that
Yeah.
late, just drinking in the backyard, essentially, like the giant backyard. Instead of just like, hey, go to fucking bed. Just like out of his bedroom window.
Yep.
But yep, no further comments.
Yeah.
But yeah. So like, walk me up, because like I remember going into that show and being like, oh, Leah, I met Leah at Mahal's in the small room, which is, or not the Roxy, the big room. It's now the small room compared to the Roxy. But and she was opening for this band that was from Canada. It was like an acoustic duo with my friend Michelle Gall. And
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
I know
yeah,
Michelle
and-
Gall.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we hit it off, and Leo was like, "Oh, why don't you play at this thing I'm doing?" I'm like, "Okay, cool." And that's when I met the whole crew. You know what I mean? And I was like, "This is the craziest barn show I've ever played," because it was like this crazy. You go through like this workshop, and then there's like this garage, and it was like there's good sound and lights and all. I was like, "This is not what I expected. This is so cool." There was a door guy. Someone was taking like money. It was like really well like put together. Because
I forgot there was a door guy.
like at a barn, and I was like, so I used to go to this Mike night at this place called Mike's Barn. Have you guys ever been? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
heard of it.
Yeah.
Yes.
No.
No. Okay.
I don't get out much.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Mike's Barn was cool as fuck. It was straight up a barn, and like it just had all these amazing musicians somehow roll through. Like he had some heavy hitters. Do you remember he had like Buddy Miles?
I had only made it over to his barn twice.
Okay.
So I didn't get a chance to like integrate into the scene that was there. So I don't remember who was even playing. I think I was dragged there by Ellie Karsick.
Okay.
Right.
Cool. So like, yeah, like I've never saw any of the big shows, but I know they happen there. I'm like, this is insane. But it was literally just a barn. It was
Yeah,
just
I
kinda walk
remember
up,
the
there's-
space. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting. And then I was like, oh, there's a door guy at this barn. This is like a club. This is insane. But so I guess like when you guys started playing, when did you guys like meet Leah and stuff? And let's kind of work into that first project.
I went to high school with Leah,
Okay.
but I don't think we really hung out a whole lot. And I think I met Leah through Karsick. I think that was it.
Okay.
And I think, yeah, man, this is like.
I know this is way far
should've
back.
prepared well. Yeah, way too far back.
I forgot.
She should bust out your journal, man.
Yeah.
Well, do.
No, I'm trying to think of yeah, where did I meet everybody? Yeah, because it is probably a pretty circuitous route to like you and I actually knowing each other.
Right.
Like we could have known each other probably by this point in time through like a million other people
Right.
that we know naturally. But yeah, how we initially met was through Leah. And how do I know Leah really? Because like how did Leah know that I did audio? And that was how I started like working with Leah, was
Right.
that Leah at one point was like, I need somebody who can do audio, which was why I ended up doing Love Fest for many years.
Yes.
And then it became the Wild Maple, and I did that. And then I did the closeout last year in
Yeah.
October of the
Yeah.
last one that was down at the or what's the, help me out, the name of the bar. No, it's it's way south, like the other direction, like way down 44. It's the bar Hoff's,
Okay. Yeah.
and it's a bar and a. I know I'm getting a little off topic, but this
No,
is a
this
cool
is all
place,
on
and this is a
topic.
cool
Yeah.
choice for her to make for this show. It's a bar, and in the back you can do glass blowing. and some ironworking, and they have like an active blacksmith who knows how to teach you how to do these things, and they have like occasional nights where they do trivia, and I think they have open mic, or they did for a while. I don't
I
quote
think
me
you're
on
right.
that.
Was it called the Garage? Was it the Garage Bar?
No, Garage Bar was Painesville.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was an old. This is we're like going into
No,
like
this
old,
is-
old man from like this East Side territory. But Garage Bar was like, so supposedly, and details I don't remember, or I don't know how correct this was, but this guy who was probably late 20s, early 30s at the time, his uncle left him in his will his old machine shop for working on auto parts. It was butted up against a house that I think he also owned. Now, don't quote me on that, but it was somehow not zoned residential. It was zoned industrial, so it was not beholden to any of the noise laws that you would ordinarily have in a residential area. So he gutted the place and treated it like a venue and built out a stage, put in a board there. I think Kevin played there a couple of times. Did Buford ever play there?
That's the shop.
The shop, yeah.
Buford never played
In
there,
Painesville,
no.
like right next to the railroad tracks.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
what you're talking about? Yeah, I remember that place.
yeah,
that
because
place
there
is
is
wild.
another place called the shop.
Yeah.
But it's not that.
Right. No,
That place was crazy.
The
That
shop
place was crazy.
It was literally-
Yeah. I used to call it the last bastion of punk.
Yeah, it was. It really felt like it
Because people would throw firecrackers
Well,
at
yeah,
you when
and-
you were on stage.
Yeah,
and
right.
like, you know, like the mosh pits were legit.
and wasn't like you just if you wanted to drink you just like had to bring your
Yeah, it
own
was
beer.
BYOB,
Like they
yeah.
had no
bar.
bartender or anything. So yeah, you just show up with like however much you wanted, and it literally just felt like you were in someone's house. And
Yeah.
there just
Yeah,
happened to be a stage built there where people were playing music. Like
That was the other thing too, because it was technically kind of like a house and an auto garage because there was a shower.
Yeah.
You would go to the bathroom and there was just a shower there.
Dude, the shop was insane. I
really
remember
was.
Sea
yeah, I
Level
think
played
I
there
only
a
went there a
few
couple times, but I will probably never forget it. 'Cause
I
it
will
was
never
just
forget it.
ridiculous.
Well, okay, with you guys, did you guys play in any other projects before playing with Ryan Keith? Like,
Well, I mean,
That's a
yeah, not technically, because like the three of us played together in high school.
okay,
which is
well,
like when
let's
we
go
all
back to
became
that.
friends.
So this is when it started, okay?
Yeah, really,
In high
yeah.
school. And did you guys go to high school with Leah as well and Ryan, or no?
No, we all went to Madison
Okay.
as opposed to Chardon. Yeah, I mean, like, well, yeah. So Chris and I have technically known each other since like elementary school, but I wouldn't say we really became friends till like middle school, high school. Yeah, because I found out he like lived up the street from me, and I just had no idea. Like through all of elementary school, and then we were like suddenly on the bus together.
Well, I moved around a bunch.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So yeah, you probably wasn't the whole time, but yeah, and I think that's when I remember us kind of becoming friends was like in middle school sometime, and then you know like we were friends with other people that were kind of like yeah let's start a band in like you know like 7th grade 8th grade. So I played with a couple other people, and then through other mutuals like Chris ended up playing bass and I was playing drums with whoever else, and then like another one of our friends from high school, Dan, started something and got Keith involved, and then you know that kind of you know it was just like high school stuff. Like we weren't trying to like play out or do anything. We were just like jamming and whatever. And then yeah, like I kind of stopped playing drums from like after high school for a couple years, like 4 or 5 years. But Keith had started Midnight Buford at that time, around when we were like 18, and then Chris was playing bass for that. And then, then when I was like in my mid 20s is when I met Ryan through like a mutual friend when I worked at Sheets. Who,
Okay.
like Keith also worked at in Chardon. So that's like how I kind of made it in with Chardon peoples. I ended up working out there. And then
Did you ever give them the extra nugget? Like, yeah, I got you, man.
hey man, if
I
there's
got you.
extra
This
stuff in the
is-
fryer, sometimes it ends up in your bag. You know, we don't know. It's better than throwing it away. Yeah. So and that's how Kevin started was like me getting involved with Ryan to do drums for him, and like and like so I hadn't played in like 4 or 5 years until that point. So that kind of really got me back into music in a big way, and then. Yeah, like us coming together to play again was I think it was like 3 years ago, maybe like almost 4 at this point. Yeah. So that's kind of where we are now, is like we started jamming, and then, you know, like Ryan had been at Midnight Buford for a stretch also after like Chris left to do bass. So yeah, there's a lot of like crossover. We've all played music with each other on and off throughout the years a whole bunch of times, and we've been friends the whole time. So you know, we love music. We talk about music a whole bunch. So it's always been part of our interests and our friendship and all that. So
Word. No, and like one key thing out of that, I think is important for anyone who's like kind of just getting into a band, and like when your drummer, no offense, when your drummer goes to college, it doesn't mean they hate you. You know what I mean? It doesn't, you know, like
Drummer went to college.
Right.
But
you know, I'm just whatever it may be, like, you know, and I think it's important, like, throughout, you know, life that, you know, you guys are like still admiring each other do stuff and still wanting to be friends and hang out and play with each other. That's a special, really cool thing, because like a lot of people get like pretty petty about it, because, you know what I mean, like, well, it's us with the world and like versus the world, and you dipped out, so you're out, you know what I mean, like, but this is where it ultimately goes back to, because like even with Sea Level, not that I was like, ugh, whatever, like I always admired our first drummer Jay went to college and he did a million projects, and now we're playing with him again, you know what I mean, like, and like I think it's important to, like, you know, everyone's like on their own journey, and if you persevere and just keep doing what you like to do, eventually it's going to amount to some type of success, whatever you define it as, you know what I mean. So that's awesome, and that's super cool that it all collided here to this moment. Now, one thing I wanted to ask, with the very beginning in those first few jams, what were you guys playing? What was the tunes you were like writing, or you know, the covers you were doing, or like, like
there's a lot of the stuff recorded and available online.
Yeah.
Because it was
a lot needs to be defined as hours upon hours, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we were
A
just
lot of material.
Unless you're talking like way back in high school, but
that's what I was saying.
That's what I thought too. Yeah, like
I misunderstood.
Back in high school, I mean, what were we playing? Like, you know, like I didn't really know what I was doing, so we were playing. Like, none of us did. We all had just started. Right. Like we're just starting. You know, none of us are taking like professional lessons. We're not like trying to be the greatest thing. So we're just like a couple covers, probably. Like, didn't we play like Glycerin or something? Like I remember us jamming to that.
Probably something like that.
Not well, but that's something we would do, because I think I didn't even know the song at the time. Like they were just playing stuff. I'm like, yeah, I'll just play along to this. Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, that's an actual song we were playing to. Oh yeah, my bad.
I remember like Louie.
Yes,
and
like
Brain Stew.
Yep. I mean, so in high school, like Keith did like dip out for a while, and it was just me, Chris, and like the guy Dan. And we would play like heavier stuff. Like I did like some thrashy type stuff, like to the best of my ability. But even back then, I think we've, you know, it's continuing today where like I just kind of like played a bunch of different stuff. And so it's just kind of whatever we want to play. I'm like usually down to like see if I like it, and at least from the drum side of it. Yeah, because we had, even back then, like varied different songs. Yeah, a lot of it, like, I mean, it's like Zappa is like a huge influence to me. So like that kind of idea too, of just kind of playing whatever you want and just making it as good as you want it to be and having fun with it. At least that's like my takeaways from him, you know, much less technically sound, but yeah.
Well, with Zappa, there's lifetime of takeaways.
Yeah.
You can come back to any of his shit at any time and take some other shit away from it, you know? But
yeah, and I guess I would say like Primacy too was like a big influence when we were in high school, especially like with Chris. Oh yeah, that was probably like your biggest influence. I would say it's probably Les Claypool for getting into bass.
I mean, how hard can it be to learn Primus riffs when you first get a bass?
I mean, in all honesty, like you did have some of the licks down in high school. Yeah, maybe not like the entire song, but like some of the more technical parts. You're just like, yeah, I'll just learn this over the weekend. Like it's totally fine. Like how would it, like DMV or whatever? Like the little tap part in the beginning. Or whatever.
He still pulls it out when we're like waiting for something to happen, or we're dicking around, or there's like a minute, or we even go to a jam every once in a while. He'll just pull out some sort of Claypool lick, and I'll get all excited about it.
I feel like that's prime bass player showtime, because when I played in ensembles and it's quiet and I'm just like because I've played a couple jazz ensembles and I'm playing bass. I'm like, you know what I mean? It's like, this is my moment to have something to say.
It can't just be quiet here.
People can actually hear this now. All right.
yeah, right.
But
Right,
also,
it's just like on keys, I have pre-programmed into 2 of my boards the settings to do both like Baba O'Reilly and to do jump, and like I'm just like waiting for the perfect moment to pull those out, because like it's the same thing. Every instrument has those like noises that you can just make out of them that everyone's like, oh yeah, it's that one.
it's like playing the on the banjo.
Right.
Deliverance. Yeah.
You gotta have that like stock thing. But to go back, one thing I love about Primus is like they like take that dissonant interval, like they're always like minor seconds or tritones or just these crunchy like dissonant sounds, and they make it so groovy. You know what I mean? Like that rhythm aspect of it makes the worst note choices the best, you know, and that's a lesson within itself. You know what I mean? Like just like learning a handful of Les Claypool licks, you're like, oh, I can do anything in a way. You know what I mean? Like I can choose any note selection and make it a sick like basis for a song, you know? Like
I am like a humongous Primus fanboy. Like Chris and I share the idea that he plays bass and I can hold a bass as well.
I know. I didn't know you played keys.
Yeah, well, I'm not really that great at playing the bass, so I figured I'd be like, if you can do crap, you might as well do a variety of crap, and that's kind of like the thing, the idea that I've taken. But like, yeah, that's I'm just like agreeing wholeheartedly with like your appraisal of like the Claypoolness of like how it's just, yeah, it's supposed to sound off, but that makes it sound so damn groovy for some reason. And it's just that, you know, like even from stuff that's like way off base, like Mr. Kringle, to stuff that's like hits like the like Winona's Big Brown Beaver or anything, you know.
Many puppies. Yeah.
Yeah, like any of that stuff.
See what I'm saying?
That was an early one.
That's all dissonant stuff.
That was, yeah.
But it kind of goes to show those other elements of music can really paint a picture that everyone can lock into, even when those things are jarring. You know what I mean? Like they're a jarring band, dude.
Yeah.
Like, have you guys seen them live?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw my bass player Cody is really into Coheed, and we saw Primus and Coheed last 2 years ago or whatever. And like every time I see them, I forget how like jam bandy they are. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. And I think I always enjoyed going to see them because of their like stage antics and stuff. Like we saw them when they did the Willy Wonka album, and so Tim, their drummer, he did like a big Augs percussion parts to that, and like somebody else was playing the set for the Willy Wonka songs, but he had his own like area for the Augs percussion that was like had like a, I don't know, like a framing in front of it that was just like little mounds with mushrooms and stuff, and they're all wearing like the Willy Wonka like TV suits and everything, and it's just so like I enjoy like I guess I get inspired by them like with like their stage presence and everything, like they put on like a show more than just playing the music and everything. And even like one of their earlier concerts I went to, they had these like giant spheres that they were projecting stuff onto instead of just like a projector screen come down. There was just like a suspended like white projector screen sphere with stuff was on. So yeah, they always do really cool stuff. It's great if you get to go see them.
Did you okay, that made me think of a couple Primus memories. Are you guys hip to Mike Dillon from Primus? He plays the vibraphones.
I don't know the name, but
okay.
Yeah.
No.
All right, put a pin in that.
I feel terrible that I don't know.
Like, well, we played with C-Level played with Mike Dillon at the Grog Shop, and he's super cool guy, super amazing drummer, musician, and just like all around super cool, inspirational dude. Anyway, he said this quote that really stuck with me because I did an interview with Mike, and like he's a really big jazz guy, and he's like, Thelonious Monk never played a stadium, and he's one of the greatest musicians of all time. And I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It just makes you reconsider certain things. Like some of the greats aren't meant to be like commercialized
digestible.
like that.
Yeah.
Or digestible.
Yeah,
Like
from
Primus,
like a mass.
which is
Yeah.
like,
I mean, that's one of the things I love about Cleveland is because there are so many wildly talented musicians that live. Like I've been saying for years now that about every 10 blocks or so in the more populated areas of Cleveland, you will find a Jimi Hendrix level quality of talent somewhere in there. Now, is that person Jimi Hendrix marketable? Probably not, but they are a Jimi Hendrix level of talent.
Yeah.
Cleveland
Yeah.
is full of so many freaking talented people in the music scene. It blows my mind. Like like you had mentioned, like I'm around and I'm about and stuff, and so I feel like
Very much
somewhat
so.
connected with a lot of people in the music scene. It astounds me, like every couple of weeks, I feel like I'm just like, no, I've never heard of this person. Then I listen to their stuff and I'm like, this is amazing. Like we have so many people, and so many of them are like underground or half underground or,
Yeah.
or doing some side project where they're really getting a chance to shine. And what they do for their day job is just, playing covers at the wineries or something.
Right.
And it's like, we have so many ridiculously talented people here.
I 100% agree. 100% agree. And like, it's even like, I feel like it's Cleveland tradition, like looking even back at like bands like Devo and Perubu, like just weird, amazing, unique shit that's just everywhere. And it's just kind of the more you stick in it and the more you keep your eyes open for it, the more you're like, fuck.
Here's a question for you.
All right.
Local bands that you know that are of the caliber of weird, like a Devo or like somebody who's doing something that's really way out there, that's like a cool thing to you.
Massive Hot Dog Recall.
Hell yeah.
Is one of those. They're wild as shit.
Yeah, I went to that one of their shows just based on the name alone.
Yeah.
I was like, yep.
Oh my God, I'm trying to think of there's this one band that's I think they're from Cincinnati, Artificial Go. Have you heard of those guys?
I don't know if I have. No.
They're I think they're Cincinnati. I don't think they're definitely not Cleveland, but they're a wild, weird group that like put a pin in it.
Totally,
And
yeah.
there's another. It'll come back to me. But yes, those are my top two at the moment. What about you? Wild,
I got
weird
two
bands. All right.
off the top of my head. Joshua Smith. He's a jazz guy.
Yeah.
He plays saxophone, and he plays like a little teeny tiny saxophone.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Like the
And,
dude in Marvin.
Yeah.
Yes.
But he also does this like really weird like musique de concrete kind of like crazy
cool.
stuff where he's just like breaking cymbals on the ground with his bare feet and doing like other crazy crap like that. And it's just like, it's this like, I don't know, this like overmind, like I've graduated so far beyond understanding the theory that I'm now going to destroy it kind of thought process. And then on the opposite end, which this is not to say it is, like these people are equally as talented in my mind, but Brood X.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, dude.
They're
sick.
just absolutely wacky, great group to see live at any point in time. Like they're just insane.
That made me think of another one. Awesome Group. You know what I'm saying? He was in Fractal Brains too.
Oh, Factual Brains?
Fractal Brains.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I was trying to think of
Alex.
Alec. Yes.
Alec.
Yeah.
Anything he does is sick and wild.
Yeah.
Crazy thing, the person I dated in high school is supposedly like in a relationship with Al. I don't know how connected everything is, but it's like there's like a whole like web of just like we
It's
know
all
and everybody
connected.
knows everybody.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because actually, Chris and I saw him. It was you and I at the Happy Dog, or maybe it was me and Keith actually. But it was like it was just him playing the drums. The other guy couldn't make it, so he just did the whole show by himself and still handed out like the tambourines and everything. And then it was like a year and a half or 2 years later, I was sitting across from your fire pit with him, and I was just like, I know you, and I don't know why I know you. And then it all like came together, and I was just like, oh, this is awesome.
That's awesome.
Everybody in Cleveland knows everybody.
It does.
It's such a small town, like
which is-
in the best ways.
Right, which is what's beautiful about it. Like you're like, oh, I know those guys. Like another weird Primus memory that came when we were talking about that is, have you ever heard of the band Electric Beethoven? No. So the original Primus drummer is the drummer in that band, and it's like a jam band that jams Beethoven.
Oh, nice.
All right.
They do
pretty
wild,
sick.
like just jammy versions of all this stuff. One day, Sea Level was playing in the tavern, opening for somebody, and they were playing in the main room. and Primus's drummer came over and like caught part of our set. And Pat's first show, Pat Bolin, our drummer at the time's first show, was like the first show we ever saw was Primus. And he's like, "Oh my god!" And he came in. It was just like, "Yeah," and walked out. It was just
Oh
so
man,
sick.
that'd be so awesome.
So we hit it off with him a little bit at the end. He was a cool dude.
Nice.
That is cool. Here's a question. Do we have anything that we play that even sounds remotely like Primus? Because I know that there's a lot of Primus influence, but do we have anything that we play that anyone
one
would say?
tune, Uncle probably is the
Uncle.
closest thing
You think?
to
Yeah, I guess.
With the bass, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm almost leaning toward like Delancey too, as kind of having like, you could believe it being Primus influenced only because of the way the vocals go. Because I have a history of ripping off Claypool's vocals. I have no way of trying to rip off his bass licks.
vocalists to try to rip off.
I know, right? Well, but like when we were
Bad
doing Buford, we did Nutty Pizza Lee,
Yeah.
which was a ripoff of that, and then with Kevin, I have Bicycle. With Kevin, that song about bicycles.
But it's also kind of goes to show, like, it's interesting, like Les Claypool's voice, how he presents it isn't like, it's not traditionally what you would say, oh, it's a great singer. You know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily something you would try to replicate, but in that other stuff, how they cover it and how they present it and like how it's like shown to you, is like, wow, that's sick. Like that weird talking like this, you know, like that's cool if you do it in the right way. You know
I
what
like
mean?
I like how he constructs lyrics, where he usually sets up a punchline and it's like the meter
Yeah.
is like very followable. It's like a nursery rhyme half the time.
Yeah.
And like I that appeals to me so much. Like I feel like there's a lot of music out there that I really enjoy that's like children's music for adults. Yeah. And I feel like that is somehow how I feel when I listen to a lot of like Primus songs or other songs that are constructed similar ways, where it's like, this feels like it was constructed for kids, but the subject matter is an adult subject matter. You know, like it's got this like childish sing-songiness to it, and I eat it up. Like I love it.
There's something to that, bah, you know what I mean? Like lyrically, that just like, you're like, that's ingrained in our minds since we are kids, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
like that really hits home at that point. All right, so I can't remember, was it Buford or was it Thick Kevin that opened for Mushroom Head? Buford? Okay,
Probably
like,
Buford.
what's the deets on that? Like,
I honestly don't remember.
what? It's the Mushroom Head, man. We're talking about the Cleveland scene here.
I remember opening up for Skid Row. That was a bit.
Wait,
I think I was there for that.
Was this Peabody's? Where was this?
This was at the Cove
At the Cove?
in Geneva, Ohio.
Yeah.
I don't know how they got.
The Cove loves Keith for some reason. It's like
No. It just Skid Row is.
Yeah,
Skid Row.
that's the shocking part.
I thought the Cove's like last like call to like arms was like, we had Hendrix here. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, Skid Row. We opened for them, and we
So wait.
opened for Edema.
and who?
Edema. I don't know if you remember them. The Corn Guys Brothers band. The
Okay.
guy from
Okay. All right. Well, how is the Skid Row show, dude? That had to be wild in Geneva. Like all these bikers probably showing up.
It was insane.
Yeah?
It was there were so many people there. And we played, I don't know if we played right before them or what. I don't remember all the details because this is 15 years, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
This is a long time ago. So I remember them not being the friendliest of folk. But
Sebastian Bach wasn't the coolest.
it's lamer than that because it was after Sebastian Bach had left the band.
That explains it.
That caveat of, is it Skid Row? They have the rights to the name.
Right. But they don't. Well, okay. So they were kind of like, it wasn't the most friendly. Okay. That, I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's like you get those like opening sets where you're like, this is sick. We're going to finally something cool. Like, cause that's like the most to bounce off one of your guys' songs. That's like the most uncle advice. All right. What you need to do is open for some bigger bands
Oh yeah.
and get their audience
some
to like
exposure.
you know, get some exposure. You're like, uncle, I would have done that.
You gotta sell tickets. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but like, did anything come from any of those like shows?
Absolutely
No?
not. Just more shows at the Cove.
All right.
Which I love the Cove.
Yeah.
I do, but it's a little. you're kind of stuck doing the same thing all the time. Which
Just not the location though, you know.
Yeah,
if the Cove,
If we all lived in Geneva, the Cove would,
Right,
like,
yeah,
we'd
yeah.
probably play there like
Yeah.
every couple of weeks.
if the venue, the Cove, was located closer to this side of town, then I would definitely be willing to play there way more often. It's just such a hike going out there, but it's not a bad place. It's a little dive bar. It's got good stage.
Well, they like redid.
that's
I
right. It's way
I
nicer
low
now.
key miss the old Cove, but
Well,
I do like what they did with
bathroom's
it,
the
and like
same.
I understand it. Yeah, but I mean that's the only part that I feel like should have been changed, and the rest of it couldn't. Like I would have done it the other way around.
Well, yeah.
Update the bathroom, but still keep it like.
Yeah, I remember my mom came to one of the shows one time because Kevin played there at least once, and she was like, "This is exactly how it was the year I graduated high school, which was in 1983." So it was like 30 years later almost, or whatever. Like, yeah, I'm just like, yep, they don't do much to it. Just let it ride.
Did you guys ever play Pats in the Flats? Okay. Well, then the Cove was royalty.
Oh,
I guess
fair
what I'm trying
enough.
to
Fair
say.
enough.
Pats in the Flats was kind of like Cleveland's like local spot throughout the '80s and stuff. And like one of their claim to fames, they always said that it was the first White Stripe show in Ohio. Which is true. It's true.
Yeah.
It was like, but anyway, their bathrooms were like always like flooded.
Oh my god.
You know, like it was never. The Cove was clean and pristine.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
comparatively.
Yeah.
as long as there's a trough, we're good. You know?
Oh, it's not a trough. That's the sink. But okay, cool. Because like, well, then how's the Mushroom Head gig? Was it similar?
I don't even remember.
Don't even remember?
I don't
Okay.
even remember
Shit.
that. I remember it being on a blurb, but I don't actually remember.
What was the other? There's a venue I remember playing with you guys. It was Thick Kevin, and it was by Geneva. It was across from like for some reason I can't remember the name of the spot. I remember the flyer. It was like a Back to the Future flyer.
Back to the Buford.
Back to the
That was
Buford.
the Cove.
Josh designed that flyer, and yes, it was the Cove.
Is that the new Cove?
Yeah. So, or wait, no, was Back to the no.
It was not
I
that.
misremember. Now I'm
That
getting
was
it.
in
That was
Menor.
called Music Links.
was
it
in
was
Menor.
it was a budding metal venue that I believe existed for a couple of years and then
Yeah.
failed.
Yeah.
Amazing stage.
It was a 6 stage.
Good sound design in there too.
Yeah.
Like it was a good spot. I think I have no clue why they failed. I think it was maybe a combination of bad marketing, bad location, a specificity to a scene that, you know, like there's nothing wrong with metal, but like, can you run a whole venue on that? Like, and pretty much only that. And like, I think they were trying to do that for a while. And then when we booked that show, that was actually a hardcore. I did that show with 103 degree fever.
I remember that. Yeah, you were
Yeah.
sick as like.
And I did 3 sets because I played jokey music, and then I played with Kevin, and then I played with Buford, right?
I think was that the Infamous show? I believe it was.
That was and that was a ridiculous show. I think I recorded a bunch of things for that, and I like did it all wrong because I was so out of it.
Yeah.
So like I had like none of it synchronized, and I tried to.
fucking lens cap.
Yeah.
Who did this?
Yeah, like that level of like complete dog shit. Although there is, I think, a video that somebody took of me. That was the first time we ever did the gag with Kevin, where we had the dildo.
Yeah,
for
that-
the
that-
cover
that is-
song.
that is the
So
infamous
the band
gag.
Electric Six has this song called "Gay Bar."
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. It sounds kind of like the sort of. So it sounds like a hard version of like a B-52s kind of thing, and I'm
Okay.
like totally
Yeah.
here for it. And so I had heard the song, and I asked the Kevin guys, I was like, can we cover this? And also like, I'm gonna get this dildo and make a harness, and then during the musical breakdown, I'm gonna like it comes back. It has a musical breakdown, and then it comes back, and the line is, "I've got something to put in you." And so like to hit that, you know, like I had made like out of some like car seat belts, like a quick release or a quick add-on.
A quick release strap-on harness.
Yeah, so I was able-
Let's just call it what it is. It's a
Yeah.
quick release strap-on
Yeah,
harness,
and so then-
homemade,
Yep.
not for use in sexual activities,
Just for the show, and nothing else.
I mean, based on the harness, I don't think I'd want to be having it used in sexual activities. There were some unfinished edges, you know.
There were some unfinished edges. It would definitely make the Germans. No. But yeah. So that was a great venue because they let me have cock.
Yes.
In the venue, and they didn't have a problem with it, and that was good.
Yeah, I agree.
The second time I ever used that was at the Winchester, so good for them and allowing that kind of pageantry as well.
That's the other band.
Yeah, that is. I know. Like, we're so off topic. We really have not. We've talked about like Primus and like all of the things that led up, like Buford and everything. I know. I understand we're linear, but like he does have a point.
Oh, this makes sense. But anyway, like, but there, that's why I was like. We've done so many random shows, but that one sticks. I still have that poster in my basement where we practice.
Oh yeah,
and like I just remember that venue, and so all right.
R.I.P. Music Links. It was
Music
a really
Links.
really cool venue when it existed.
So have you guys ever listened to the band The Ziggins?
I don't think I have. No.
Okay, there's a certain vibe. So to bounce it to now. To bounce it, as pointed out, very clear, non-directed transition here. But to take it to now, there's this band called the Ziggins. They're out of Long Beach, California. They would like tour. They were big influences on the band Sublime. At least you would never hear. You'd listen to the Ziggins and you'd be like, "There's no way these guys influenced Sublime." But Brad Knoll loved Bert Suzenka's songwriting, and they wrote kind of more like when I listened to is there a name for the record?
3 or 4 short people in a trench coat.
When I listen to 3 or 4 short people in a trench coat, like when I listen to these tunes, I hear just like a Ziggins-esque influence, which is like surf, country, punk, rock, like all this crazy genres put together, but with like kind of like slapstick, goofy humor in the lyrics. You know what I mean? Like, and like going through like hearing like tunes like lift weights. I was like, these guys are fucking awesome. Or I can't remember the exact line. Show me your karate. Like,
teach me your karate.
Teach me your karate. Like, this stuff is fucking awesome. But there's a lighthearted like seriousness to the whole record. And like I feel like that's like you guys, you know what I mean? That's your personalities. And like
I love that descriptor, lighthearted seriousness. Keep going.
Yeah, well,
I just wanted to like
gonna use that.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Sit on that one for a second
because it is, you know, like. But the chord progression and the rhythm to that song is like insane. There's a seriousness to the amount of like, show me your karate, right? Going back to or teach me your karate. Yeah. Going back to teach me your karate. There's a lighthearted, lyrical approach to it, but like sonically. There's these thick jazz chords and like this insane like rhythm going on. It's not just a lighthearted tune. It's a serious tune.
And like the lyrics are lighthearted in nature, but like they mean a crapload to me. So like I know that sounds
let's
like
pop that bubble.
Okay, no.
Like
I don't want to take any more time.
No, I want to know why
there's so all 3 verses are references to like different like television series and stuff, and so like I have probably an unhealthy relationship with like just like TV media in general. Like I probably a lot of people do, but like specifically like nostalgia media, and so like the song is really like it leans super heavy on just like loneliness, isolation, and like lost romantic connections and other problems with being in relationships and not having them work. But I hide it all under like these stupid TV references and stuff. And that song was one of my favorites to construct for the whole thing. But like I wanted to make it lighthearted. So one of my biggest lyrical influences would be like Stephen Page from like Bare Naked Ladies. So like the Bare Naked Ladies were quite famous for making like boppy, poppy type, like really fun things to do. But Stephen Page was always like writing these like intensely like morose lyrics and somehow sneaking them into something that doesn't musically fit that. And I always loved that as both like a template and like kind of a way, because if somebody gives me 4.5 minutes of a sad song, I'm pretty likely to turn it off because I don't like a downer beat. I don't like a downer thing. I can respect it. I can appreciate it. And when I'm in the mood, I can like Soviet Kitsch is one of my favorite albums, and like just anything in general from like the indie 90s stuff, like I can get into that, but I'm not usually in the mood for that. So usually I'm in the mood for something that's like a lot more fun to be around. And so that song, like specifically a descriptor of being like serious and lighthearted at a simultaneous point. The lyrics are goofy, but they mean something to me. It doesn't matter if they mean something to the audience, because they're just goofy lyrics that are fun. If you want to deconstruct them, you're welcome to do so, but it's just, it's like a sad attempt at communication, but it's meant to be also enjoyable, as opposed to, just saying, hey, I'm going to write this sad song. You're going to have to listen to it for 4.5 minutes.
Well, I think there's...
Please join me in the gutter.
Yeah, but there is a thing that translates more, like the juxtaposition of happy sound to sad lyrics. I mean, if you look throughout time, like reggae is a serious medium, but now everyone's like, yeah, chill, man. You know what I mean? No,
yeah,
it's very politically charged.
Right. Truth to power and like all the
right. Like, but anyway, like, so that makes sense to me. Like, and there's a straight like Simpsons reference musically in that song.
That's the whole third verse is all a Simpsons reference.
Yeah. So that's awesome. And like, but also I think there's a seriousness to things like The Simpsons. I think there's a seriousness to things that are goofy. So that's pretty badass. That's where it's coming from. Another tune I wanted to ask you guys about. Well, I mean, the one like going through here, I'm like, oh man, this should have been, okay, Ball of Wax. Okay, hold on. Okay, Ball of Wax.
It's got a good story too.
Yeah. I feel like with Ball of Wax, that's the chewy like candy you drink, right? That's what it's referring to? No? Because like I thought my first listen through, I was like, this song's about Amazon reviews of that candy.
Well, I think the Amazon reviews are of like the wax lips.
Wacko wax, wax.
Yeah,
lips.
I don't even know why wax lips exist. Like, I have no idea what you ever supposed to do
It
with
was
them.
a candy like in the 40s or something.
Was it a candy though? Like, what do you do with it? It just tastes like wax. You just chew on it for no.
You got to read the reviews.
Okay, yeah, that's true.
I do love.
I bought these lips trying to tell my kids to eat this wax. But my kids said I'm not going to eat the wax because wax isn't food. Which is one of the reviews that's in the album.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it was just taken from real Amazon reviews.
And like, and the chorus is beautiful. You got this like beautiful chorus. And like, that's the other juxtaposition of the serious, like, or the lighthearted seriousness of it. Like musically, this is like, damn, this is good.
Are you accusing us of art?
Yes,
I'd say I wrote that one, but the Amazon
people wrote that one.
Well, all the chorus and stuff was all first, right? And then later we were like, we can tack in reviews. It was like later.
I think right, because like you had come up with the chorus, you had proposed the song, and then you said, "Oh, Ryan, you should write lyrics over this section, right?" And then I think somehow somebody came up with the idea to just read spoken word Amazon reviews, and that's what we went with. And I am 100% so much more happy with that because it came out as like.
It's amazing.
Great. Yeah,
great. I'm like, this should have been the first track. Like,
oh no way!
It's kind of like,
originally when we were doing track ordering. I think I proposed that being it's like the second or third track, right?
Second,
I proposed it being really early on in the album, and you had thought it was weird. Originally, I also thought it was weird, and then after listening to the order once more after doing that ordering, because I had gone through 3 or 4 iterations before bringing it to you, I was like, that's so strange to have as the second one. I'm like, yeah, I like it. I like it as the second one. So hearing you say that it should be the first track on the album feels vindicating in some way because I feel like it didn't take me much to convince you.
This is a fight for later.
No. It didn't take me much to convince you, but I just mean like I just felt good that like the decision feels like it's good. You know what I mean? For lack of a better eloquence or something.
And even like the Amazon reviews, like you time them up in such a way that it rhythmically like fits into the thing. Here we go. Like you killed the like. Well, like it works really well. Like it could have been read just straight, but you like build up into the chorus. Like it's like which makes it feel more like a lyric that you wrote. So I was kind of like, It like I assumed it was Amazon reviews, but I'm like, maybe not. You know what I mean? With like how it flows is what I'm trying to say.
I'm glad I played that way. I think actually there was an alternate take of the first verse that I liked better, and I was all worried about it. But I think they get faster as it goes on, and they get more frantic. And I eventually came to peace with that. And is that like I'm glad that it feels intentional, because that's kind of what I wanted out of it.
It totally does. Like that's another track. I'm trying to remember the first part. Fuzzy
World.
Fuzzy World. So explain that one to me, because that's another contender. I'm like, this could have started off the record too. Like that's a fucking banger.
And I think it starts off, if I remember correctly, where it is in the album. That one may start off side B on when we eventually get the vinyl,
the wax,
ready to go. Yeah, I think Fuzzy World. I don't be 100% on this, but I'm more than 60% sure that Fuzzy World starts off the B side. So the idea that it does start something, like, I think same brain on that. But Fuzzy World, history of
Fuzzy World, I wrote all the music to that a long time ago, and I was trying to make it work for other stuff, and then it came up with this one. We're just like trying to add, because I have these songs that I wrote that I'm still attached to, and I kind of redug that one up, and Ryan wrote the lyrics on top of it about it was actually about an acid trip.
And the world's fuzzy.
Get it. So but as far as the actual lyric writing process, that's more your bag.
I won't go too deep into it, because we did touch on it in another podcast that we did. But the second verse, this carries into like the karate conversation, is that there's just unabashed, shameless referencing all over the second. I mean, there's decent referencing in the first one as well, but the first verse as well. But the second verse is just, there's a point in time when I just like straight up, just throw just like a, hey, here's a reference, deal with it. And I thought it thematically worked. So
was it? Well, I don't know. Like, I think if you're into a thing, right? If you're influenced by a thing, like we talked about being into Primus, like I don't think there should be any like fear or like judgment that like, I try to sound like Primus at times. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a lot of bands that kind of like do that. They're kind of like, I don't want to like, I don't want to give away my influences. You know?
I steal from Ween every chance I get. Every chance I get, I'm stealing from Ween.
There's so much good stuff, and like I feel like it's more of a connector. Like, no one knows who you are, but they all know Ween. So if they know you're into Ween, like they're more likely to be into your stuff. But if you kind of hide that influence, you know what I mean? Like, there's some weird shame to that.
Get that, because like for me, a lot of the whole reason that I like doing music, I mean, I like doing music for a zillion reasons, but one of the biggest parts of it is that I see it as just a medium of communication. So like when I used to do the joke songs and stuff, and that was a solo affair, but when I did it, I used to have a way that I would describe it as that, like, if I have a night where I go and I play a set and everybody laughs, that's a good night. If I have a night and I go and I play a set and nobody laughs, it's a bad night. If I have a night and I go and I play a set and one dude in the back gets some stupid joke I make and just laughs his brains out because he thinks it's the funniest thing ever, but it's like an obscure, obnoxious, stupid piece of humor, that's the best night. And so I love the communication potential of performing something and somebody being like, oh my God, I heard this one lyric and I like, it makes sense to me. Because when I'm listening to music, that's what, a lot of times it's what I listen for. When I listen to something that has lyrics, I'm listening for like a futile effort to communicate over a bunch of good sounding musicianship.
Well, and like, I think that's what that's what it all is, right? You know, like the whole community thing works because everyone's behind a thing and into a thing and influenced by a thing. And if you can like hit that niche, you know what I mean? That they're like, oh, dude, I got that Cowboy Bebop reference. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Oh my God, you know, like
what's that band? It's got like Black Voltron.
Yes.
So
Yes.
like I love their like sound check and like all their stuff. They play all this music from like Nujabes or like the Samurai Champloo soundtrack.
Yep.
And just like I just hear them playing that stuff and I'm just like, somebody here is a giant weeb. And it just like I'm like, yeah, I get it. Like this just makes me happy that
100%.
you're doing this and they're not calling attention. They're not like, I'm gonna play the song right now. It's just like it's there.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
haha, communication. It's a thing. And
I
gets
know
me
Robin-
unreasonably excited.
Robin loves Samurai Champloo and like introduced me to Samurai Champloo.
Hell
So I was
yeah.
always into Cowboy Bebop, and I was like, "Oh, this is all." And he's like, "You never watched Samurai Champloo?" I'm like, "No," and I'm like, because I played with them for a little bit,
Yeah.
and like I just remember like watching that series and be like, "Oh my god, we gotta find. We're all
good.
on this journey. It's all about who we hang out with, man. You know what I mean? Like it's all this like anyway, but that's such a huge like dopamine connector. Yo,
Yeah.
we're on this ride together. You know. That's incredible. One on that. Okay, I got one more track I want to ask about. Be Creative. Like, okay, that took it lyrically. I found that really interesting too. How it leads up to the punchline in that one. Okay, so I don't know.
That was one
one's
that I
awesome.
brought. Yeah, I brought that
Yeah.
to the band. Yeah, so if we're gonna go reference heavy, you're probably gonna. So I love the B-52s, and that's me. Like that song is very much downstream of like I think I wrote it after listening to probably like Wild Planet or something, and. The whole idea is just like it's like when you can't be creative but you're like surrounded by the potential to be creative and you're just trying to like force it. That's more or less what the song is. It's just me trying to like force creativity and that feeling. And I think that most people who work in any kind of art fashion, unless you're like truly a savant, have dealt with like that kind of pressure where you're like, I need to be creative. I need to do this, but I have no fucking clue like where the parts come together tonight. Like, I just don't know how that works tonight, but I'm going to force it. And that's kind of the idea. And so that was where the song kind of pulled around.
Do you guys have your own method for that writer's block to get through it? Like, what do you do when that happens?
I typically like to, me personally, I typically like to try to pick up an instrument as if I've never seen it before. So like just pick up a guitar and just start like making noises like I've never seen the thing. And that sometimes helps. But then it's also like, what kind of writer's block am I going through?
Right.
Am I going through a musical writer's block, or am I going through a lyrical writer block, or am I going through, like, so the flavors, I don't have a great answer for how to get out of it, because sometimes I feel like I do something random and it just like pulls me out of it. And sometimes I feel like I don't. I think my best methods are to try to carry around a little recorder with me and just to capture whenever I come up with some kind of idea that I think is worth doing, to just like mouth jam it into a thing, like whether it's lyrics or me just going meow 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 meow. I do this.
I believe it.
Hours and hours.
Unashamed, like in the car, like and I label them as MJs whenever I put them into digital form, so that when I'm showing people like demos, I don't accidentally click on one of those because they're highly embarrassing.
Yeah. Well,
But I try to just do that so I can build a backlog, so that when I am truly stuck somewhere, that I can just go back to the backlog. Like some days I feel like I can write 3 or 4 or 5 songs just like back to back and just be like, I could power through, I could write an album in a weekend. That doesn't happen super often, but when that happens, I really hate it when like I'll be driving down the road and I'll come up with something that I think sounds like an amazing idea to expand upon. And I'm like, I won't forget that. That's so fucking good. Right. And then like, I pull into the place that I'm at, and then I just hear like the Eagles, and then it's like, and everything that I've ever thought, and it's gone permanently.
Yeah.
Like whatever I just like was jamming on in my brain for the last 30 minutes of drive time, like it's just gone permanently. I'm like, I should have recorded that. I don't know if anybody, I'm sure thousands of, like
100%.
many other people. So my goal to, when I'm in some kind of writer's block thing, is to usually just come back to, prior prior
ideas.
stuff that I've done to try to like reignite that, kickstart it, to kind of like gloss over the fact that I'm just not being creative now. And sometimes I've just reached the point where it's like, I'm not being creative today, so I'm just going to not try. Because like if I try, I force it and I end up writing something that I don't particularly care for anyway. So sometimes I've just learned to accept, like, sometimes I'm gonna have like a month or two where I suck, and then I apologize to everybody I'm working with. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have any songs right now. If any of you have any songs, let's work on those. And then, you know, that's why I like working with these guys, because most of them have something to bring to the table when I don't. And that's, you know, like, I don't want that pressure. I don't want to play with a group that only plays my music anyway. Because like, what the hell's the point of that? Why don't I just lock myself in a room and make tracks?
Dave Grohl it, you know?
Yeah, but like, I'll pass the torch, and I'm gonna check this camera that I bumped to make sure that I'm still good on you.
But to take that question down the line to you guys, like, what do you do to see yourself through a creative block?
For me, I will listen and learn to a song that I don't like.
Okay.
And I will.
Well, I like all these.
And
so far,
I will rewrite that song. Like, because when you rip the nuts and bolts down to a song, it's just 4 chords repeating themselves. Like when you're listening, like, to certain genres of music, and I will rewrite it into something that I do enjoy.
Okay.
And then that will tend to spark some sort of, you know, oh, what if I do this? What if I do? And then I end up with something radically different than what I started off with. And then that'll kind of bring me out of it.
Dude, I love that. By taking something you don't like, and like, because there's something in it that works in our mind. That's cool. That's cool. And it was crazy. All those cans opened like like separate.
I was waiting for Gabe. I'm like, all right.
I wait for no one.
All right. Well, what about you, my friends? What do we do?
I mean, I don't bring like a lot of songs to this band, but I don't know. I kind of don't force myself to come up with things. Like if I make a riff that I think is cool, I'll like transcribe it or just put my phone down and record it and be like, maybe I'll use that later. And that's where, a song that's not on this album, hopefully on the second one, called Hot Summer, was kind of just a collection of a few riffs where I was like, well, I want this to be in a song. I want this to be in a song. They can go together. Okay, add a few more parts to it. So, yeah, like getting blocked by anything has never super stopped me, I feel like.
I don't know. Lift Weights was a masterpiece. That
is a masterpiece.
That was.
I hope there's a music video to that. I hope
the easiest.
It'd be so easy.
Yeah.
Just go to like Planet Fitness.
Has a direct concept.
You guys want to be in a video? Just get a bunch of random buff dudes. Like I low key want Cody to be in the video. Just take Cody, my bass player's Instagram reels, just of him lifting.
If he gives us permission,
send me some footage. Right?
He's gonna be like, "Wait, you did an interview and they want footage of me lifting?"
Yeah, shirtless, obviously. Duh.
Yes.
I kind of low key want you to go there with your setup, Ryan, to his basement and like
several angles. We'll do,
angles.
and I'll cut them together like how they did the bullet time in the Matrix. There's just like cameras everywhere.
Dude, that'd be so sick. Do you have a rut cut?
I mean, I never feel like pressured to write stuff, I guess. Because like I don't do like songwriting, but like when it comes to like writing my drum parts and stuff like that, I mean a lot of our processes will like in any band I'm in, I like to just jam along to it like with the group. I feel like I get a lot from being like around the people playing it. Like doing a recording, like 2 recordings, like also fine, but occasionally I feel like I'm writing something that's like too similar or like too simple, and I like to try and find stuff that serves the song itself. I like to play a lot of different stuff, so if I'm ever in a rut, I usually just kind of put it down and just come back to it. Like I'll just be like, I just can't think of anything nice for this one or anything I'd like for this one right now, so we'll just have to table it for a little bit. I also will listen to like other music that I think is like similar to it that I might get like inspired by or kind of get me in like the headspace of like, because yeah, like all the songs on this I feel like are not all of them, but like most of the songs are pretty different sounding from like one another. Yeah, and so I think that's it too. Is it's like I'm like, oh, I'm having a problem writing a part for like Fuzzy World or Booty or whatever, you know, but those are like, they're kind of genre geared. So it's like, okay, I'll just go listen to like this genre of music or like something around there, or like maybe find a drummer that plays stuff like that. And just kind of get like inspired that way is what I try and do. But I definitely don't like to write stuff that I don't like to settle either. So it's maybe it's not like a block. It's just like I haven't found something I exactly am in love with when it comes to it. So yeah.
No, I get that.
Yeah.
Like, and as a drummer, there's 1,000 ways you can accent a song. You know.
Yeah, like I always make the joke that there's really only like 4 drum parts, and it's just a matter of like how you perform the drum part.
Kind of, yeah. Well, I mean, there's only 4 chords and stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
That's Keith's guitar philosophy just applied to drums.
I think that's every individual like part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's how it's put together. I mean, it's you know, like a taco is, you know, a shell, meat and cheese, and then a burrito is a wrap meat and cheese, and like, which is just like a soft, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's a lot of these ingredients can have very different results. But anyway, I appreciate you guys bringing me to HQ, and I know we've been going up and down trying to get this in, and so thank you all for letting me be here and pick your minds. I got one more question to wrap this up. Since you guys have played together for so long, what are some lessons you've learned from each other that you find yourself still using now, maybe that each other doesn't know yet? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I see the thinking going. Like,
Gee, yeah.
It can be music. It could be just like
Just the
personality.
hard one, all on the end.
Yeah, I know.
Or just like what lesson we've learned from one another.
One. It doesn't have to be everyone, but one person individual or.
I think as a group, just always have fun.
Babu?
None of this matters if we're not having fun. If we're not enjoying our time here, it's not worth doing. And I've spent so many years around these guys. I'm clearly having a blast.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably go down the line here. Maybe like, yeah, I think Keith has always kind of inspired me, or like traits I would like to be more like Keith, like is being able to let stuff be. Like, it doesn't have to be more than it needs to be, which maybe like Ryan might share that also. But Chris, I feel like I don't know, is Chris, I feel like, is a person who's kind of like not afraid to just do himself, you know, and stuff like that. So I kind of take that inspiration from him, is just like if you want to do something, just go do it, like find a way, be a capable person, you know? And then like Ryan, I would say is kind of similar in that, where, I feel like he's like a dependable person. So I try and take like that away from him. And, yeah, I mean, I don't know. These guys, like, I'm so enmeshed with like these guys. They're such like a core part of my life and my friend group that like I could probably think of like a million lessons. But yeah, that's coming into my head right now. So
all solid.
Thanks.
Chris, did you have something?
Look, I think about this a lot. Okay.
Yeah, mine'll just be super basic. Yeah, from Gabe. If I'm ever like lost in a jam, I'll just look at the bass drum and be like, okay, I'm just gonna hone back in on this. I was trying to do something in a weird time signature. Just bring it back to the bass drum.
Back to the basics.
Yeah.
Back to the present.
Lock it in.
I've got similar. I would say Keith and I are probably the most diametrical. Like, we are like oil and water when it comes to like philosophy
100%.
and just like life and everything.
love it.
But we still manage to like work. And I'm like simultaneously like, a lot of times when we're writing something, I'm simultaneously like excited and energized, but then also like unreasonably pissed off. And like, it works and it's great. And like he said, like, if we're not having fun, it's not good. And it's like the conflict usually almost always results in some damn good choices. There are several songs on this album that when they were originally just even proposed, or when they were in the writing process, or at a certain point when Keith said, we should do this here, I was like, that's stupid. I fucking hate it. But I didn't say that directly.
Oh, you were
for
pretty
most
direct.
things. There were 2 or 3 times where I was like, I hate this. But for the most part, I was like, no, let's see where this goes.
Yeah.
Because, like, I don't know. Like, people who know me pretty well know that I'm like a really opinionated person. Like, I'm like, I work really hard to be fun to work around, right? Like, I work really hard to be fun to work around, but like internally, like I'm just like a ball of like rage and anxiety and like all kinds of other problematic stuff. But mine's a little bit closer to the surface. But there are certain times. So like the it doesn't have to be more than it is perspective that Keith takes on like way too many things is so good at the end of the day for like the way that I tend to overthink and say like, no, for this song, we should do something insane. And Keith's like, well, what if I just play this? And I'm like, fuck, no, okay, actually that's better. Like, not always, but like a lot of times, like many, many times. It might be 50-50 or it might be 80-20 in either direction, but it's like there is a collaboration and a commitment between us to not like
There's always compromise.
hate each other for that, but the compromise usually results in something that is way better. If I was left to my own devices, I would probably write a lot of things that would be I don't know. They would have problems. They would have major problems, listenability problems. There would be sections of them where they're too complicated where they shouldn't be. And Keith's like, no, let's just do it this way. And sometimes it's like, oh fuck, why didn't we do that? Like, and then especially when we made the recordings, like I listened to, I think there were 2 of the songs out of all of them. I'm not going to name which ones, but there were 2 songs out of all of them that I just like loathed at the beginning. And I'm just, after the recordings, I'm like, nope, these are bangers. I love them. They're great. I was wrong the whole time. And like, I decided not to fight, and I was glad that I decided not to fight and just be like, nope, this is a compromise. And now it's like, no, I love these.
I get it. There's a lot of times with like our tunes where I'm like, I don't know if it's going to work. And you realize it does work. There's something about sitting back and taking that perspective, but also having someone you trust their perspective that you're taking, you know, even if they have to prove it to you via you just stepping out of your own way. And like, that's awesome. I'm glad that like, you know, what makes a group of friends work, let alone a band, is just all those things you described. So that's beautiful, guys. All right. So, Beachland Tavern.
Yes.
Friday, May. I can't think of what next, right? Is it Friday or Saturday?
Friday.
Friday. And what's the date? I can't.
22nd.
22nd. 8 p.m. doors?
7 p.m. doors.
7
right?
p.m. doors. Get
7
there.
p.m. I do have flyers in my car.
7 p.m. Cellophane Jane.
Yeah, we've got Plum Shed, Bob Martello, and Will Fire.
You just said
He has the last name. I think it's Hines.
No, you ruined it.
I'm sorry. But so they helped us track the whole thing. They tracked the album with us. They were primary tracking engineers for us on the adventure that was this album. And so they are opening up as Plum Shed, and then after they finish is, like you said, Cellophane Jane, and then we will go on and do our thing.
Rock the
Doors
night out.
7 show 8.
Ba-boom.
Nice.
Ba-boom.
Nice,
All right.
nice.
Well, you guys ready? Let's go fucking lift some weights.
That's right.
What?
And we just...
Yo, Spike Spiegel here. You just listened to Zig at the Gig podcast. Keep riding the bebop. See you, Space Cowboy. Bang.